Hey guys, what's up? My name is Josh, and together, where's my pen? Crap. I have no pen.
Set your timer.
I have to crack. See? That's why she's wife material. Okay. This is part 15 of the Montana CDL Manual for 2016. Why'd I say it like that? I don't even know. Okay. So we just covered part 14, and I literally hit the button to stop it and hit it again, which is why I was unprepared. Not a good thing. But we didn't have any questions for the last video. Please make sure to check in my pants, also known as the description bar, for a link to the manual online in PDF form. I feel like I'm talking like, what's her name? What's her name from Drag Race? What's your girl's name? Kimchi? I feel like I was talking like Kimchi just now because I was talking so fast and it didn't make sense. No?
Sure.
She loves Kimchi. We watch Drag Race together and we each pick a girl and we root for them. And so that was a little bit of shade thrown. But I love Kimchi. That's my girlfriend Maggie. The pug Marvin, you also might hear barking a little bit. Okay. So, oh yeah, down in my pants you'll find a link to the PDF. Excuse me, for the manual. You'll find a link to the test website where you can take practice tests. You'll find a link to the video on YouTube where you can watch Ruby, a Wil-Trans instructor, do a pre-trip inspection, and it's a really good video. It's like an hour and 10 minutes, but make sure you watch it because it was helpful for me. You're gonna find links to Allie Knight, Ellie O'Dare, and the Crafty trucker on YouTube because all of those individuals have been amazing inspiration, help, and guidance for myself and Maggie as we embark on this situation. I'm a rookie. I'm not trying to teach you anything. I was just reading through the manual in preparation for my tests, and it's really dry. And Maggie had the idea to make videos to keep me with it, so that's why we're doing this. This is part 15, so we're just going to keep it moving. We're on section 2, driving safely, page 2-24. And 2.11, driving at night, is the section we're reading. 2.11.1, it's more dangerous. You are at greater risk when you drive at night. Drivers can't see hazards as quickly as in daylight, so they have less time to respond. Drivers caught by surprise are less able to avoid a crash. The problems of night driving involve the driver, the roadway, and the vehicle. 2.11.2, driver factors. Vision. Good vision is critical for safe driving. Your control of the brake, accelerator, and steering wheel is based on what you see. If you cannot see clearly, you will have trouble identifying traffic and roadway conditions, spotting potential trouble, or responding to problems in a timely manner. Because seeing well is so critical to safe driving, you should have your eyes checked regularly by an eye specialist. You may never know you have poor vision unless your eyes are tested. If you need to wear glasses or contact lenses for driving, remember to always wear them when driving, even if driving short distances. If your driver license says corrective lenses are required, it is illegal to move a vehicle. There's a train that goes by where we live, and it's very, very loud. So that was said train. It is illegal to move a vehicle without using corrective lenses. Keep an extra set of corrective lenses in your vehicle. If your normal corrective lenses are broken or lost, you can use the spare lenses to drive safely. Avoid using dark or tinted corrective lenses at night, even if you think they help with glare. What?
Duh.
Well, some people wear them because they're supposedly help with glare, but it's actually really dangerous.
Yeah.
Tinted lenses cut down the light that you need to see clearly under night driving conditions. Glare. Drivers can be blinded for a short time by bright light. It can take several seconds to recover from glare. Even 2 seconds of glare blindness can be dangerous. A vehicle going 55 miles per hour will travel more than half the distance of a football field during that time. Whew! Fatigue and lack of alertness. Fatigue is physical or mental tiredness that can be caused by physical or mental strain, repetitive tasks, illness, or lack of sleep. Just like alcohol and drugs, it impairs your vision and judgment. Fatigue causes errors related to speed and distance, increases your risk of being in a crash, causes you to not see and react to hazards as quickly, and affects your ability to make critical decisions. When you're fatigued, you could fall asleep behind the wheel and crash, injuring or killing yourself or others. Fatigued or drowsy driving is one of the leading causes of traffic collisions. NHTSA estimates that 100,000 police-reported crashes a year are the result of drowsy driving. According to the National Sleep Foundation's Sleep in America poll, 60% of Americans have driven while feeling sleepy, and more than one-third, 36% or 103 million people, admit to actually having fallen asleep at the wheel. Drivers may experience short bursts of sleep lasting only a few seconds or fall asleep for longer periods of time. Either way, the chance of a collision increases dramatically. That's one of the questions. It's called a microsleep, isn't it? Microsleep is a nap lasting only a few seconds. At-risk groups. Now we're on page 2-25. The risk of having a crash due to drowsy driving is not uniformly distributed across the population. Crashes tend to occur at times when sleepiness is most pronounced. For example, during the night and in the mid-afternoon. Most people are less alert at night, especially after midnight. This is particularly true if you have been driving for a long time. Thus, individuals who drive at night are much more likely to have fall-asleep crashes. Research has identified young males, shift workers, commercial drivers, especially long-haul drivers, and people with untreated sleep disorders or with short-term or chronic sleep deprivation as being at increased risk for having a fall-asleep crash. At least 15% of all heavy truck crashes involve fatigue. A congressionally mandated study of 80 long-haul truck drivers in the United States and Canada found that drivers averaged less than 5 hours of sleep per day. Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, 1996. It is no surprise that the National Transportation Safety Board reported that drowsy driving was probably the cause of more than half of crashes leading to a truck driver's death. For each truck driver fatality, another 3 to 4 people are killed. Warning signs of fatigue. According to the National Sleep Foundation's Sleep in America poll, 60% of Americans have driven while feeling sleepy, and 36% admit to actually having fallen asleep at the wheel in the past year. However, many people cannot tell. Get it together. Many people cannot tell if or when they are about to fall asleep. Here are some signs that should tell you to stop and rest. Difficulty focusing, frequent blinking or heavy eyelids, yawning repeatedly or rubbing eyes, daydreaming or wandering disconnected thoughts, trouble remembering the last few miles driven, missing exits or traffic signs, trouble keeping your head up, drifting from your lane, following too closely or hitting a shoulder rumble strip, feeling restless or irritable. When you are tired, trying to push on is far more dangerous than most drivers think. It is a major cause of fatal accidents. If you notice any signs of fatigue, stop driving and go to sleep for the night or take a 15 to 20 minute nap. Are you at risk? Before you drive, consider whether you...
that thing about the 20-minute nap you were telling me.
What'd I tell you?
How 20-minute nap can like completely refresh you and make your brain.
Oh, yeah. Where did I find that? Was that on the internet? I forget where I found that.
Katie and Dad told you about it, and then you read an article about it that said it was true.
Yeah. I was talking to my sister and my dad about 20-minute naps, and then because I research whenever I hear something, I do a lot of researching online, especially when I'm in the bathroom, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so I found this article, and it said that 20 minutes is like the ideal time for a nap, because if you go any longer, you end up feeling more tired, and if you don't go that's the optimum time for something for it refreshes your brain or resets your brain or some crap like that. But 20 minutes is actually a perfect nap. Okay, we're still on page 2-25. Are you at risk? Before you drive, consider whether you are sleep deprived or fatigued. 6 hours of sleep or less triples your risk. Suffering from sleep loss, insomnia, poor quality of sleep, or a sleep debt. Driving long distances without proper rest breaks. driving through the night, mid-afternoon, or when you would normally be asleep. Many motor vehicle accidents occur between midnight and 6 a.m. Taking sedating medications, antidepressants, cold tablets, antihistamines. Working more than 60 hours a week increases your risk by 40%. Working more than one job, and your main job involves shift work. Driving alone or on a long, rural, dark, or boring road. Flying, changing time zone. Preventing drowsiness before a trip. Get adequate sleep. When we lived in California, I would routinely put Maggie to bed at 10 and go to bed that time myself, and I would try to get us 8 hours of sleep, because I know for a fact that when I'm on a schedule, I operate better when I'm awake. And when I've had 8 hours of sleep, I feel great when I wake up, and not at first, because at first I'm like a cranky toddler. Like, if I had hair, half of it would be going this way, the other half would be going this way. I've got drool on my face, whatever. Takes me time to wake up. I'm not exactly a morning person. However, after that period, I feel great, and it's just a really good schedule. So when we're on the truck, that's what I plan on doing. I plan on giving us as much as possible, 8 hours, and making sure that we get to bed, even if that means we don't get to watch a whole episode of RuPaul's Drag Show before bed. Oh well, because I know I'm going to have to be behind the wheel, and I'm going to need to be focused and alert. So that's going to be a thing. And also, she can always watch it in the back, and I can listen to it while we're driving the next day. So it's not really that big of a deal. She can tell me what the dresses look like, because that's really all I care about.
What?
What?
What are you talking about?
What? I don't know. You can watch the damn video when it's done. Shoot. Okay. Get adequate sleep. Adults need 8 to 9 hours to maintain alertness. Prepare your route carefully to identify total distance, stopping points, and other logistic considerations. Schedule trips for the hours you are normally awake, not the middle of the night. We all know that some of these middle of the night trips are going to happen. You're going to have to be flexible, but you should also, your safety should be your top priority. Drive with a passenger. Check. I mean, after my training period, I'm really not looking forward to my solo time, because, I mean, I know it's a rite of passage, and I know I need to do it, but I'm really not looking forward to so much quiet time by myself, and because I know I'm going to be bored, and I know, like, I'm going to be missing Maggie, and, like, I'm just hoping I can figure out some vlog situation, because I think that'll help me get through the long days of driving. Hopefully. Okay, now we're on page 2-26. Avoid medications that cause drowsiness. Consult your physician if you suffer from daytime sleepiness, have difficulty sleeping at night, or take frequent naps. Incorporate exercise into your daily life to give you more energy. Maintaining alertness while driving. Protect yourself from glare and eye strain with sunglasses. Check. Keep cool by opening the window or using the air conditioner. Avoid heavy foods. Be aware of downtime during the day. Have another person ride with you and take turns driving. Take periodic breaks about every 100 miles or 2 hours during long trips. Stop driving and get some rest or take a nap. Caffeine consumption can increase awareness for a few hours, but don't drink too much. It will eventually wear off. Please don't, I don't know why I said please, do not rely on caffeine to prevent fatigue. Avoid drugs. While they may keep you awake for a while, they won't make you alert. If you're drowsy, the only safe cure is to get off the road and get some sleep. If you don't, you risk your life and the lives of others. Okay, 2.11.3, roadway factors. Poor lighting. In the daytime, there is usually some areas, in the daytime, there is usually enough light to see well. This is not true at night. Some areas may have bright street lights, but many areas will have poor lighting. On most roads, you will probably have to depend entirely on your headlights. Less light means you will not be able to see hazards as well as in daytime. Road users who do not have lights are hard to see. There are many accidents at night involving pedestrians, joggers, bicyclists, and animals. Even when there are lights, the road scene can be confusing. Traffic signals and hazards can be hard to see against a background of signs, shop windows, and other lights. Drive slower when lighting is poor or confusing. Drive slowly enough to be sure you can stop in the distance you can see ahead. Drunk drivers. Drunk drivers and drivers under the influence of drugs are a hazard to themselves and to you. Be especially alert around the closing times for bars and taverns. Watch for drivers who have trouble staying in their lane or maintaining speed, who stop without reason or show other signs of being under the influence of alcohol or drugs. 2.11.4 Vehicle factors. Headlights. At night, your headlights will usually be the main source of light for you to see by and for others to see you. You can't see nearly as much with your headlights as you see in the daytime. With low beams, you can see ahead about 250 feet, and with high beams, about 350 to 500 feet. You must adjust your speed to keep your stopping distance within your sight distance. This means going slowly enough to be able to stop within the range of your headlights. Otherwise, by the time you see a hazard, you will not have time to stop. Night driving can be more dangerous if you have problems with your headlights. Dirty headlights may give only half the light they should. This cuts down your ability to see and makes it harder for others to see you. Make sure your lights are clean and working. Headlights can be out of adjustment. If they don't point in the right direction, they won't give you a good view and they can blind other drivers. Have a qualified person make sure they are adjusted properly. Other lights. In order for you to be seen easily, the following must be clean and working properly. Reflectors, marker lights, clearance lights, tail lights, identification lights. Turn signals and brake lights. At night, your turn signals and brake lights are even more important for telling other drivers what you intend to do. Make sure you have clean working turn signals and stop lights. Windshield and mirrors. It is more important at night than... That damn train, I swear. Windshield and mirrors. It is more important at night than in the daytime to have a clean windshield and clean mirrors. Bright lights at night can cause dirt on your windshield or mirrors to create a glare of its own, blocking your view. Most people have experienced driving toward the sun just as it has risen or is about to set and found that they can barely see through a windshield that seemed to look okay in the middle of the day. Clean your windshield on the inside and outside for safe driving at night. Now we're on page 2-27. 2.11.5 Night Driving Procedures. Vehicle Procedures. Make sure you are rested and alert. If you're drowsy, sleep before you drive. Even a nap can save your life or the lives of others. If you wear eyeglasses, make sure they're clean and unscratched. Don't wear sunglasses at night. Do a complete vehicle inspection of your vehicle. Pay attention to checking all lights and reflectors and cleaning those you can reach. Avoid blinding others. Glare from your headlights can cause problems for drivers coming toward you. They can also bother drivers going in the same direction you are. When your lights shine in their rearview mirrors, dim your lights before they cause glare for other drivers. Dim your lights within 500 feet of an oncoming vehicle and when following another vehicle within 500 feet. Avoid glare from oncoming vehicles. Do not look directly at lights of oncoming vehicles. Look slightly to the right at a right lane or edge marking if available. If other drivers don't put their low beams on, don't try to get back at them by putting your own high beams on. This increases glare for oncoming drivers and increases the chance of a crash. Use high beams when you can. Some drivers make the mistake of always using low beams. This seriously cuts down on their ability to see ahead. Use high beams when it's safe and legal to do so. Use them when you're not within 500 feet of an approaching vehicle. Also, don't let the inside of your cab get too bright. This makes it harder to see outside. Keep the interior light off and adjust your instrument lights as low as you can to still be able to read the gauges. If you get sleepy, stop at the nearest safe place. People often don't realize how close they are to falling asleep even when their eyelids are falling shut. If you can safely do so, look at yourself in the mirror. If you look sleepy or you feel sleepy, stop driving. You are in a very dangerous condition. The only safe cure is to sleep. 2.12 Driving in fog. Fog can occur at any time. Fog on highways can be extremely dangerous. Fog is often unexpected and visibility can deteriorate rapidly. You should watch for foggy conditions and be ready to reduce your speed. Don't assume that the fog will thin out after you enter it. The best advice for driving in fog is don't. It's preferable that you pull off the road into a rest area or a truck stop until visibility is better. If you have to drive, be sure to consider the following. Obey all fog-related warning signs. Slow down before you enter fog. Use low-beam headlights and fog lights for best visibility even in the daytime. And be alert for other drivers who may have forgotten to turn on their lights. Turn on your four-way flashers. This will give vehicles approaching you from behind a quicker opportunity to notice your vehicle. Watch for vehicles on the side of the roadway. Seeing taillights or headlights in front of you may not be a true indication of where the road is ahead of you. The vehicle may not be on the road at all. Use roadside highway reflectors as guides to determine how the road may curve ahead of you. Listen for traffic you can't see. Avoid passing other vehicles. Don't stop along the side of the road unless absolutely necessary. 2.13 Driving in winter. 2.13.1 Vehicle checks. Make sure your vehicle is ready before driving in winter weather. You should make a regular vehicle inspection, paying extra attention to the following items. Your coolant and antifreeze level. Make sure the cooling system is full and that there's enough antifreeze in the system to protect against freezing. This can be checked with a special coolant tester. Defrosting and heating equipment. Make sure the defrosters work. They're needed for safe driving. Make sure the heater is working and that you know how to operate it. If you use other heaters and expect to need them, example, mirror heaters, battery box heaters, fuel tank heaters, check their operation. Wipers and washers. Make sure the windshield wiper blades are in good condition. Make sure that the wiper blades press against the window hard enough to wipe the windshield clean, otherwise they may not sweep off snow properly. Make sure the windshield washer works and there is washing fluid in the reservoir. Use windshield washer antifreeze to prevent freezing of the washer liquid. If you can't see well enough while driving, for example, if your wipers fail, stop safely and fix the problem. Tires. Make sure you have enough tread on your tires. The drive tires must provide traction to push the rig over wet pavement and through snow. The steering tires must have traction to steer the vehicle. Enough tread is especially important in winter conditions. You must have at least, that's right, 4 32nds of an inch tread depth in every major groove on your front tires and at least 2 32nds of an inch on all the other tires. More would be better. Use a gauge to determine if you have enough tread for safe driving. Tire chains. You may find yourself in conditions where you can't drive without chains, even to get to a place of safety. Carry the right number of chains and extra cross links. Make sure they will fit your drive tires. Check the chains for broken hooks, worn or broken cross links, and bent or broken side chains. Learn how to put the chains on before you need to do it in snow and ice. Lights and reflectors. Make sure the lights and reflectors are clean. Lights and reflectors are especially important during bad weather. Check from time to time during bad weather to make sure they are clean and working properly. Windows and mirrors. Remove any ice, snow, etc. from the windshield, windows, and mirrors before starting. Use a scraper, snow brush, and a windshield defroster as necessary. Handholds, steps, and deck plates. Remove all ice and snow from the handholds, steps, and deck plates. This will reduce the danger of slipping. Radiator shutters and winter front. Remove ice from the radiator shutters. Make sure the winter front is not closed too tightly. If the shutters freeze shut or the winter front is closed too much, the engine can overheat and stop. Exhaust system. The exhaust system leaks are especially dangerous when cab ventilation may be poor, windows rolled up, etc. Loose connections could permit poisonous carbon monoxide to leak into your vehicle. Carbon monoxide gas will cause you to be sleepy. In large enough amounts, it can kill you. Check the exhaust systems for loose parts and for sounds and signs of leaks. 2.13.2, page 2-28. Slippery surfaces. Drive slowly and smoothly on slippery roads. If it's very slippery, you shouldn't drive at all. Stop at the first safe place. Start gently and slowly. When first starting, get the feel of the road. Don't hurry. Check for ice. Check for ice on the road, especially bridges and overpasses. A lack of spray from other vehicles indicates ice has formed on the road. Also check your mirrors and wiper blades for ice. If they have ice, the road's going to be icy too. Adjust turning and braking to conditions. Make turns as gently as possible. Don't brake any harder than you need to, and don't use the engine brake or speed retarder. They can cause the driving wheels to skid on slippery surfaces. Adjust speed to conditions. Don't pass slower vehicles unless necessary. Go slowly and watch far enough ahead to keep a steady speed. Avoid having to slow down and speed up. Take curves at slower speeds and don't brake while you're on a curve. Be aware that as the temperature rises to the point where ice begins to melt, the road becomes even more slippery, so slow down even more. Adjust space to conditions. Don't drive alongside other vehicles. Keep a longer following distance. When you see a traffic jam ahead, slow down or stop to wait for it to clear. Try hard to anticipate stops early and slow down gradually. Watch for snow plows as well as salt and sand trucks and give them plenty of room. Wet brakes. When driving in heavy rain or deep standing water, your brakes will get wet. Water in the brakes can cause the brakes to be weak, to apply unevenly, or to grab. This can cause lack of braking power, wheel lockups, pulling to one side or the other, and jackknife if you pull a trailer. Avoid driving through deep puddles or flowing water if possible. If not, you should slow down and place the transmission in a low gear, gently put on the brakes. This presses linings against brake drums or discs and keeps mud, silt, sand, and water from getting in. Increase engine RPM and cross the water while keeping light pressure on the brakes. When out of the water, maintain light pressure on the brakes for a short distance to heat them up and dry them out. Make a test stop when safe to do so. Check behind and make sure no one is following, and then apply the brakes to be sure they work well. If not, dry them out further as described above. Caution, do not apply too much brake pressure and accelerator at the same time, or you can overheat the brake drums and linings. And we're not going to make it through the rest of this, so I'm going to stop here, and we're going to tackle page 2-29 in the next video. And I dropped my papers. Okay. So we didn't have any questions this time, so I'm going to make a note of that. So we're going to pick this up, part 16, and when you start that video, be at page 2-29, and we'll get started. Thanks, guys. See you soon. Thanks, Guy. Like there's one of you watching. Just the one. I don't know who you are, but just Guy. Right. Thanks, guys. See you soon.